Alright then, I'm not going to just do a basic Wrestlemania review, like basically everyone else on YouTube's done. It's Tuesday now anyway, so it's gone. So this will just be a... I'll talk about some points about it and we'll move on as well. Talk about Raw as well as the title might suggest. Right, where to start on WrestleMania? That was some show, in all fairness. I had a bit of a nightmare Sunday night. Two of the boys been on to watch it, and it started like 12 o'clock over here. We get 5 minutes into it, and my cable cuts out, so I didn't watch it until the next day. But I wasn't disappointed. It was a phenomenal show. There was the Money in the Bank ladder match, which, just like I said, this was the worst Money in the Bank ladder match that was beaten, but it was still very, very good. I don't know if I'd agree with them on that it was the worst one. I mean, it was the future of the WWE in that ring. Morrison, Punk, Benjamin, Kennedy, Carlito, and MVP, again you could argue. And you got Chris Jericho, who was like, what, 37, 38, was the oldest guy in that match, and was very impressive throughout it. Great match. Will have a slight bitch about the fact that they then jobbed CM Punk the next night, because I mean, if you're going to give someone the Money in the Bank, when Van Dam won the Money in the Bank, he won the belt. Edge won the Money in the Bank, he won the belt. Kennedy won it, of course he ended up losing the Money in the Bank briefcase to Edge. Edge won the belt again. So, you know, there's a fair chance that Punk winning this, he's going to be a world champion and not the ECW champion again. We'll see what happens tonight now. But like, he wins that, and then the next night you have him lose. Now I can understand why you're trying to think, well, you know, he did like pull Jericho off the ladder, so we want to keep him level. What's the point? If you're pushing Jericho's your Intercontinental Champion, that's a mid-card belt. If you're pushing someone to have the opportunity to win a world title, does it matter that he's getting bigger than a mid-card guy? It shouldn't. That's just backwards thinking. But there we are. Jericho was more over on the night anyway, on the Raw, but it was a great match. So I'll complain about the result, but it was a great match. Fair play, we haven't seen a match I got on Raw for a decent amount of time. You know, a lot of people were saying about who Punk face. Was it Punk and Morrison on ECW, and then SmackDown had Carlito and Benjamin, or the other way around, and everyone said they were two great matches. You know, and Raw doesn't do that, so it was good to see that. Covered the Undertaker win the world title. I thought, see, when I started watching it, it was like 3/4 of an hour left of the show when they were coming out, and I thought, oh well, Taker's going to win and Punk's going to come out with the Money in the Bank and win the title, and maybe they're going to turn Punk heel or something, I don't know. But no, in all fairness, Taker won the belt with a submission, which I was a little bit surprised with. I know he's been doing that loads lately, but I thought he'd pin him. Good as the Edge kick out of the tombstone. Good respectability for him, even though they had to wait ages for the ref. Still, no one kicks out of the tombstone usually. So yeah, that was good. Good match, great that it was a main event. I know I said it probably wouldn't be, but I wanted it to be, and it was, so that was cool. What else do we have? WWE title, Orton retained. Thank God for that. I thought Triple H was going to win it. Thrilled Orton did. A bit annoyed that he didn't win at least with an RKO, because I mean, why are you trying to keep Cena and Triple H above Orton? Why? Give him the credibility of having beaten one of them with an RKO. Though I did really, really love him on Raw the next night when they were chatting. You sucked at him, and he's like, no I don't. That was great. That was nicely worked. That was better than I thought Orton was on the mic, in all fairness. To do something like that. Even though he didn't say it on the mic, he just whispered it, but you could read his lips and it was great. So yeah, 2 title matches went well. Very impressed. ECW title match. Now this was bullshit. It was bad enough that they left the Battle Royal off the card, but to then go and make the title match be like, what was it, 5 seconds long? I mean, why ruin the credibility of that belt like that? You know, I mean, I don't know if I've said this on YouTube, but I've said it to my mates when we've been talking about wrestling. WWE's mid-card is dead. It's gone because they brought in ECW and they've put so many mid-card guys to ECW. So you've got to put some respectability to that belt. If you're going to hurt the Intercontinental title and hurt the United States title the way they have, at least try and make the ECW title the in between the WWE and World Heavyweight and the Intercontinental United States. Make it somewhere in the middle. They're not doing that. It's just a piece of crap title at the minute, which is just there for the sake of ECW, and that's an insult to your likes of Taz, Sabu, Sandman, Terry Funk, Mike Awesome, anyone who held it in the original ECW. It's an insult to Van Dam and the Big Show, who held it. I think Van Dam and the Big Show were the last two champions who, when it was a very, very respectable title. Anyway, so yeah, not happy with what they're doing with the ECW title. Happy to see Kane win a belt though. I thought it might have been Kofi, but I had no problem with Kane. He was my second pick for it, so yeah, if he can have a good reign, that'll be cool. What else happened? Of course, the one we're going to have to talk about is Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. What a match this was. I mean, people have said this is 4 stars, 4.5 stars, 4 3/4. That's bullshit. Just man up and say it. That was 5 stars. That was phenomenal. For me, a 5-star match can either be a classic, the sort of match that Bryan Danielson has, the sort of match that Benoit has, or Angle, in his prime, those sorts of mat wrestling and great chain wrestling, counter for counter, Shawn Michaels sort of match, or they can be a great sports entertainment match, the sort of thing that Raven had, psychology involved, a lot of takers matches are like this, and this was brilliant. This was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, True Slayer said he cried. I'm sure there were many other people who won't admit it. Unbelievable. I felt like when I was watching his speech in the Hall of Fame, I stayed up for it live, so it was 4 to watch that. And I felt like I was watching something special, and I got that feeling again. I think, just thinking about him, Shawn Michaels saying, I'm sorry, I love you. That's a WrestleMania moment. That's the definition of a WrestleMania moment. And you want, everyone says WrestleMania isn't about the wrestling, it's about the entertainment and the sports entertainment extravaganza. Well, that summed it all up. It was perfect. It was everything it needed to be. Ric Flair's family at ringside. It was glorious. So yeah, I don't like rating matches to stars, but if 5 stars is how you want me to tell you this match was amazing, that's exactly what I'll give it. It was glorious. Anyway, trying to think what else. We got Finlay and JBL. That was okay. Surprised JBL won, which of course means now JBL's the main event then, which isn't great. There we are. Bunny Mania was basically everything it had to be. Mayweather Big Show. Yeah, I think we all expected Mayweather. I said he might win it on points or something, but I think, with the brass knuckles, that was the type of rip-off that we should have had. So yeah, basically it was a great WrestleMania. It really, really was. Like I said, it might be up there with 18 and 19. I think it was. I don't know if it was as good as 17 and 20, but very, very good WrestleMania. Anyway, then we got a Raw. And so don't do a typical WWE thing now and let us down and do something stupid. What they did was, of course, Matt Hardy returned in the Money in the Bank, like I thought he would. I thought he might actually be in the match. He wasn't. He just came to the crowd. Anyway, they have him come back and they work on this whole Jeff Hardy feud thing, which is good. They give in Matt Hardy's and Jeff Hardy's fan reaction, which I think is a good idea. They palm in Jeff's crowd reaction on the mat, which is a good way to cash in on those Hardy Boy shirts. He attacks Randy Orton, and that was great. They did that well, and the fact that he had the match on the night, I think they should have made it for the WWE title, just to spice it up a little bit more. But anyway, he loses to Orton with an RKO, which was great for Orton's credibility. And then you get that out the way, bang, that's done. Put him back on SmackDown, United States title reign, I reckon. Now he's ready for it. So that was well done. And he came out of nowhere. You didn't expect him to attack Orton like that. I don't think many people expected JBL. Not many people wanted it, but many people expected JBL to come out there and say he wanted the title. And then of course we had the great emotional moment again with Ric Flair and the Hall of Fame, and him saying goodbye. And we had Triple H, Batista, the Horseman, Malenko come out, who was the second reincarnation of the Horseman, and all that. And Evan came out on the ramp there, and apparently went on for like half hour after the show went off TV. So yeah, great send off for Ric Flair. ECW tonight can be interesting with the new champion, Kane, to see what Punk does. Be interesting to see what the SmackDown spoilers are like as well. So basically WWE have stepped up their game with this. Over to TNA with an interesting looking main event for Lockdown, the MMA style rumours. Anyway, I'm out of time. Well done WWE. Latest.